Hey guys, I'm your detective, and my mission is simple: to investigate the unnatural things happening in this world. So let's get into today's video. Easy. I'm currently reading a real government document from the Black Vault, not fake, not made up, real proof. Did you know, an extraordinary 95% of Americans have at least heard or read something about UFOs? And 57% of them believe it's real. Even former US presidents like Carter and Reagan claim they've seen a UFO with their own eyes. Now there's a whole community of UFO researchers. They call themselves ufologists. And for decades, many of them have believed that the US government, especially the CIA, has been hiding the truth from us. In fact, in 1993, after being pressured by these UFO researchers, CIA Director R. James Woolsey actually ordered a full review of every single CIA file about UFOs. And what they found was crazy. Back in 1947, around the same time the Cold War was heating up, the very first reported UFO sighting happened. A pilot named Kenneth Arnold claimed he saw 9 disc-shaped objects flying near Mount Rainier, Washington, at over 1,000 miles per hour. That one sighting triggered a flood of UFO reports across the U.S., not just from normal people, but from military pilots and air traffic controllers too. So in 1948, the Air Force created something called Project Sign, later called Project Saucer, to investigate whether these UFOs were a national security threat. And while they thought at first it might be Soviet technology, their report later said that most UFO sightings could actually be explained by things like mass hysteria, hoaxes, or misidentifying normal objects. But they didn't fully rule out the idea of extraterrestrial life either. Later, Project Grudge and Project Blue Book continued these investigations, but their main goal was to calm the public down and convince people that UFOs were nothing extraordinary. They explained sightings as balloons, aircraft, planets, meteors, or even giant hailstones. Early CIA concerns, 1947 to 1952. The CIA closely monitored the Air Force effort, aware of the mounting number of sightings, and increasingly concerned that UFOs might pose a potential security threat. So basically, the CIA was carefully watching whatever the Air Force was doing, and they were fully aware that UFO sightings were increasing everywhere. And this situation actually started. Given the distribution of the sightings, CIA officials in 1952 questioned whether they might reflect, quote, midsummer madness. And if you don't know what midsummer madness means, it's like people acting strange or foolish, especially during summer. Like a temporary craziness. Agency officials accepted the Air Force's conclusions about UFO reports, although they concluded that, quote, since there is a remote possibility that they may be interplanetary aircraft, it is necessary to investigate each sighting. So even though the CIA kind of felt like this could just be people overreacting, they still accepted the Air Force's report. But, since there was even a small chance that these UFOs might be from somewhere out there, like interplanetary aircraft, they believed every single sighting must be investigated properly. Investigate. But here's the thing. Even after all these investigations, questions still remain. Why were so many people, including trained military personnel, seeing the same strange things in the sky? And that's exactly why I'm reading this document from the Black Vault, because I want to show you guys the real proof. Not fake stories, but what's actually written in government files. This document is huge, so yeah, this is just part 1. We've got a lot more to uncover. See, there are UFO sightings, but what's more interesting is, where do they come from? Do they come from outside the universe or from the underground? And recently I watched a video about aliens, real conversation with alien. I will put it in the description. And drop your opinions and your question in that video, not mine, because all credits goes to Area 52 channel. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and remember, it's never too late to question what you see or what you're told, even if there's so-called proof. I'll see you next Sunday.